We're live. Ladies and gentlemen, you're once again welcome to the King Dems Podcast. And today I have with me fighting out of California, USA, DeVonte Comatose Treats
What's going on, everybody?
Stepter. How are you, brother? How are you?
Man, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, I'm good. And of course, I hope you're pumped for this one, I hope you're
Oh,
pumped.
as more than I could ever be, my man. I'm thankful to be here, and I can't wait to
Well,
do this show with you, brother.
well, love and respect to you, love and respect to you. And I always say something, gratitude is good attitude, and if somebody shares their time with you, rather, they're sharing their life with you, of course, the SI unit for measuring time is life. So I don't take that for granted. Thank you very much for sharing your time and your life with me and my audience today. Love and respect to you, brother.
Nothing but love over here, brother. We got your back
Oh,
like chiropractic.
wow, I like that, I like that because I have been to the chiropractors a lot, and they've eaten a lot of my money.
Hey, I hear
Chiropractors
you.
and physios, bro, those guys, but yeah, it is what it is, They're good at
Yeah,
what they do. I'll give it to them. I'll give it to them. They can crack you up. They'll
got
crack
your
you up.
back. Yeah, they got your back like chiropractic. Get
Oh,
you feeling right every time.
man, you entrepreneurs are the gladiators of our time.
Absolutely.
And that is exactly what you are. Do you know what the title of this episode is? Cookies with a Kick, the Comatose Treats story. That name it's just,
It's bold. It's
it's
strong.
bold.
I like that.
That name, bro. How did you come about that name? Like, how? It's creative.
Oh, so I was actually working at UFC gym out here in Oxnard, California. And
UFC, bro. My people, my people.
exact
I was at the Yes event, just
there
two
you
weeks
go.
ago. Yeah, I've got this. I got this. I got this, bro. And of
We're
course,
gonna
we've
have to
had
talk.
a couple of UFC fighters, on the show.
Absolutely. We need to talk to Dana about getting you guys some more fights out your way though, so that way it's not just once or twice a year. You know what I
I'm
mean?
telling you, it's just it's not fair. We need more fights here. Please tell Uncle Dana, Uncle Dana, Uncle Dana. I need
Be
more
like,
fights in the UK.
I think we have a really big resource that you're not taking advantage of out there, man. I think we
I,
just need to fix that up. I'm just
I'm
saying.
telling you, Uncle Dana. You got my number. You got my number. Let's talk, Uncle Dana.
Exactly. We need to get Dana on here next. So we're gonna do everything we can to get him on here.
Definitely manifested, manifested. I did have David Feldman on the podcast sometime last year, and that was just a week after he had a meeting with Uncle Dana.
Ooh,
I'm telling you.
man.
I am telling you.
You get some pretty big people coming through here. And I
I
feel
t-
honored to just be in this seat right now talking to you.
Man, I think Uncle Dana, he's not responded to to my invite yet. Uncle
Yeah,
Dana, go check your inbox. You see it.
yeah, come on, Dana. We need you on here because you have a lot of insight as a professional and as a businessman. We all want to learn from Uncle Dana.
I definitely 100%. He's gonna
Absolutely.
come very
Oh,
soon.
yeah,
It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. I know he's
when.
gonna come. Yeah,
Absolutely.
trust me.
And I can't
Remember I
wait to
said
watch
it.
that episode.
Ah,
It's already written down up here.
because we manifested it.
It's, hey, when two people or more come together to
Hmm.
pretty much pray on something and manifest something,
Hmm.
it comes to light. And
Hmm.
that's what we're doing here today.
Hmm. When two more gathered in my name, there I am. Hmm. Yeah.
Amen. But I was working at UFC gym at the time and I was coming to terms with, okay, working a 9 to 5 for me is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to
Definitely.
do
Nobody wants to do
something.
that.
We want to make our
But
own
scratch
way
that.
for financial freedom.
Some people, that's their bread and butter.
Absolutely.
That's I don't know, but that's what is a configuration for them. Get 9 to 5, get a salary every month, get a mortgage, build one house, have one wife, have one child. Yeah.
Live that dream. I feel like everybody's dream is always going to be different. And if it's something that you have creatively that you want to bring to light, I mean, she's a
Mm,
Tyler the Creator fan, and he's always talking about you're already creating it. Just
mm,
put forth the effort to just
mm.
bring it to life even more. So I kind of took that narrative and it influenced me into doing this.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So, I mean, while I was working there, I was actually bringing cookies in for some of my friends. And when I came up with
Mm,
the cookies and dreams, which is a vanilla sugar cookie with crushed Oreos, white chocolate chips, dark chocolate drizzle with Oreo crumble on top,
brother.
just a little bit of sea salt, just a little bit of sea salt on top for flavor.
Now
After one bite,
that sounds like an ice cream to me.
so hey man, I'm telling you, after one
What?
bite, you're gonna be dreaming about these all day long. I'm trying to tell you, brother. I'm telling
Comatose.
you.
Comatose.
It's comatose till we overdose, brother.
Whoa,
That's just what we're trying to
I like
do.
your lines.
That's the
You got
movement.
lines for days. You got lines for days. I'll give you. I'll give you punt lines. Yeah. I used
It's
to
just
think
something
I'm a
that we
wordsmith, but I know you're a wordsmith too, bro.
we're gonna feed off of each other and keep learning and growing, brother.
I am telling you.
But yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, I would say that's where the name kind of stemmed from. I was there one
Mm,
day and I was watching these guys spar, and I saw this dude just get knocked so hard to where he fell on the mat, and I was like, oh, he got knocked out. And I was like, knocked out. Comatose, and it came Comatose Treats. And later on, it became Comatose Treats. One bite of these will bring you to your knees because that flavor
whoa.
is gonna knock you out
Every
every
time,
time.
bro. Man,
So,
I can't wait to have.
little Comatose Treat. I think
Whoa.
we can make that happen for you. I think we can, deliver some through the mail for you, brother.
Definitely, definitely. I'm just across a pond. It's not gonna take long.
I don't think it's luck. I think it's just the grit and just making it happen. If you have a dream, make it happen.
Yeah, and of course, teamwork makes the dream work. I'm just across a pond. You can wave the wand, and of course, make it happen.
And you talk about being a wordsmith. I see you out here
Name
telling the
it
whole
and
entire
claim it.
story.
Name it and
Ooh,
claim it, bruv.
that's all we can do. And like you
And
said,
of
we're
course,
manifesting.
yeah, I will always ask, even the Bible says in the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 7, ask and it shall be given, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. And of course, I like to say, closed mouths don't get fed. A
And
closed mouth is a closed destiny.
growing up, my mom said that over because I used to be a shy kid growing up. And she said, I'm not going to be your mouthpiece forever. A closed mouth
Mm,
is not going to get fed.
mm,
And that's when I took it upon myself to just come out of the shell a little bit as I got older. And that developed my whole entire personality to where if you walk around Oxnard and you ask people who I am, they're going to tell you he likes to make jokes. He likes to have fun. He just likes to overall see people smile and feel better and be happy. So I have to give a lot of credit to my mom for molding me into that idea and my uncle
mm,
showing me the way because I spent a lot
mm,
of time with my uncle as a kid, and he showed me as long as you show love, you're always going to get love in return. And it
mm,
hasn't failed me since.
mm.
It's just a principle that I live by.
Yeah, it's just like an investment. If you invest, you
Absolutely.
should get a return on investment. And
I
the
believe
universe is just, built in such a way that whatever it is you put into it, you know, you would you would
it's
get
going
back.
to you make that human connection because you never know what people are going through.
Mm,
Sometimes just that initial, hey, how are you doing today? And being genuine about it can turn somebody's day from upside down to the right side up. It's a beautiful
I'm
thing to
telling
see.
you. I'm telling you. And that's why I always say, why hate when you can collaborate?
Wow. Well, can you say that for me one more time?
Why hate when you can collaborate?
Man,
You know,
I
yeah,
love that.
it's all love from me. You just need to, yeah. And I think Jesus Christ said, love is the greatest commandment of all. There's a
Where
reason
there is
behind that.
love, hate can exist.
Mm.
Absolutely, man. I like talking to you. It's just that human connection again. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing.
The real recognize the real, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and even though you are, miles away, we're able to connect because we're two authentic human beings, pouring our hearts out. And regardless of wherever you grew up, regardless of your political affiliations, your skin color, we all bleed red, right? And we're all human, we're all connected, you know, through the human race. And it's more difficult to hate than it is to love. But I don't know what's happened to the world today. We just take the more difficult pathway. But if only people showed each other love, the world would be a much better place to live
I
in.
110% agree with you. For me, it's like holding, if you have to hate something or somebody, you have to think about what that's not only doing to your mental, but also to this main thing right here, that pumps.
Hmm.
Because holding hate on that heart, you feel heavier. You don't feel complete, I feel like, in my personal opinion. When you show love and you navigate from that, people are naturally going to gravitate towards you because
Hmm.
you radiate just this energy of that's infectious
Hmm.
and it's unstoppable. You know what I mean? I love going to events and talking to people, just natural conversation. I don't care if you
Yeah,
buy or not, but if I can make that connection with you, my mom always used to say this phrase: people will never forget how you make them feel.
yeah. They'll never forget how
And
you made them feel. They might forget what you said, what you did, or how you made them feel. They'll never forget. And you know why? Because
why is that?
human beings are emotional beings. And that's why there's a whole field of study called psychology, the study of the human mind.
There we go. And I feel like when it gets to that, like I feel like that's an essential of therapy, which is something that I've been going through. I go to therapy every other week just to unpack the things that went on in my childhood
Mm,
that ended up shaping me to be who I am today. You can't let things that happen to you define you
exactly.
because at the end of the day, you control your own destiny. And
Architect.
you can easily, or not, I can't say easily, but what you can do is flip what happened to you as motivational fuel to drive you to what it is that you want to accomplish in this lifetime.
Mm,
So that's just the way that I kind of look at it, especially with unpacking through therapy. It's not only giving me more confidence within myself, but within my brand to know that I know I'm on the right path. I know I'm doing the things that I need to get done. And it's just consistency because this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. And I feel
definitely.
like, yeah, I feel like that's one of the biggest things I've learned in becoming an entrepreneur is instant gratification is it's not a thing. It's delayed gratification over and over and over again. But when you get those wins, it makes those sleepless nights to where you're up till, like in your case, you're podcasting at 1 a.m. 2 a.m., 3 a.m. But seeing your channel grow, it's like your baby, you're nurturing it and you're watching it grow in front of your eyes. Whenever you look at all the hard work you've done in the past, it brings a smile to your face.
Yeah,
It's the
definitely.
satisfaction.
Definitely. A few days ago, we just clocked 9,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I looked at it.
Congratulations.
Wow, there's just 1 year, 3 months, and we won 9K. I remember when we were struggling to hit 1K. I'm like, wow. So we've come a long way. Okay. And trust me, there were some of the people, that I used to, would I say, consult when I started, who are probably not in the game any longer, or who are still in the game and probably not taking it very seriously. And I see how I have, in the period of 1 year and 3 months, like surpassed a lot of channels. I'm like, okay, okay,
Mhm.
yeah,
Like,
you need to, if you keep pushing, right, great things will happen. And I really love what you talked about, unpacking the traumas from your childhood. It is very, very important because at some point, every individual has to do that. I don't know if you mind sharing how old you are now.
I am 27.
27. Okay. Cool. You're young and you're not just young, young and getting it, right? I'm 32, should be 33, yeah, this April.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you very much, brother. I remember when I was getting towards the end of my 20s, right? I was thinking, like, oh, wow, I'm going to clock 30. Where did 20s go? But I remembered one book I read as a teenager. You know what the title is? Invest Your Youthful Years.
What did that necessarily cover? If you can give me like a little breakdown
Yeah, so
and how
basically,
it affected you.
yeah, I can. Basically, it was about, saying something along the lines of, when you're young, especially in your 20s, you have a lot of energy. You need to invest it into a trade or a profession or vocation such that you gain mastery of it. And when you gain mastery, when you're in your 30s, right, you're just gonna be on a plug and play. But a lot of people waste their 20s.
Absolutely.
And
And I feel
I love to see people like you, invest in the 20s. You invest in your brand. Every effort, every sleepless night, is an investment. But when the returns on investment start coming in, people will be like, "Oh, this guy's an overnight success."
I
But where
know
were they when you were putting in the hours? You get it?
exactly.
There's another book, I think 10,000 hours, right? The concept is
Hmm.
just about, if you invest 10,000 hours, into anything, you become a master at that thing, 10,000 hours. You get it?
Yeah,
You
I
clock
definitely
it.
got. I'm picking up that book today. 10,000 hours.
And pressure makes diamonds, remember?
Oh, bingo.
So I picked up the pressures you were talking about. But remember, God reserves his toughest battles for his toughest
For
soldiers.
some soldiers.
So there's a reason why you had to go through those tough battles. I don't know what the battles are. You may want to talk about it, you may not want to talk about it, but
I would
you
say
know, deep down.
those experiences that you go through that are hard
Hmm.
are shaping you for what it is to come next, especially through like your professional career.
Hmm.
I used to be a very sensitive person to where I would wear my heart on my sleeve. And, when I first started doing like cookies and things like that, I was in my earlier 20s, I guess you could say. And the slightest bit of feedback used to hurt me and
Hmm.
harm me. But the feedback was never, I used to take everything like as an attack. Therapy has helped me understand that this is how we just genuinely grow as
Hmm.
an individual and as a brand.
Mm-hmm.
because it's synonymous with who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not able to take somebody's feedback and learn from it, who I was back then would not be able to handle what goes on now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I get feedback all the time about the cookies,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's something as small as like, oh, just a little bit more salt, or maybe you should make this type of cookie. I don't like the cookies on your menu. Can you make this type of cookie?
Mm-hmm.
These are all great pieces of feedback. And I love
Even with like
hearing
the packaging or the branding, like people
exact.
would always say something. I know
Yeah.
that's business for you.
There's always something to kind of nitpick at, but there's also always room for growth and opportunity as well.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
You have to find beauty in the struggle and light at the end of the tunnel, is what I would say. And
I love
just
that.
keep faithful. Yeah. There have
Mm.
been those nights to where you cry yourself. Well, I mean, I know for sure I've cried myself to sleep because I'm like, I'm not getting the followers. I'm not getting the traction. I'm not getting the orders I need. There are major things going wrong right now. And I would hear this voice in the back of my head, just continue to do it. Stay consistent and you will see the light. And I feel like now I'm starting to see a little bit of the light because I have doors opening up to where I made a connection with our local Ventura Music Hall, which has been a huge blessing in my world because it
Mm.
allows me to get cookies to artists that come out to perform, which then
Wow.
repost on their platform. So it's about cross collaboration and just
Mm-hmm.
getting that one carrot, all the work that you put in to make sure that the recipe was right, to make sure that the cookie is a specific size. There are details that go into it and it's all step by step, but there's a method to the madness at the end of the day.
Definitely. Yeah. Now I see you're my brother from the other side of the pond because you like similar lines that I like to use. If you listen to this podcast a lot, you would have heard me say multiple times there is a method to the madness. You know,
Hmm.
without a method, then the madness is insanity. You
And
clock that.
insanity is just you repeating the same thing over and over and getting and expecting a different result.
I
It don't
am
work
telling,
that
I
way.
am telling you, it never works that way. And of course, I think to the people listening out there, never take criticism negatively. Criticism is your fuel, is your food to grow. Even on this podcast as well, I've taken a lot of criticism, right from the early days, any form of criticism, I take it on, use that for improvement, and we're here today. So anytime people look at the episodes in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, right? I say, wow, I love what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. I say, you know what? Go back to episode one, go and see episode 10, go see episode 15, then you'll appreciate the journey.
Absolutely.
Like I said, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Absolutely. I actually
Something I'm
have.
curious, something when it comes to you, like
Mhm.
the Comatose, the bold name, right? How do people take it? How do people
So
react?
I get this all the time. I got just from wearing this shirt because I'm still in school. I'm a marketing major,
Oh,
and
wow.
yes, I came back to school to better learn how to market myself because
Hmm.
throwing darts at the wall, it's not always the best. If you can get professional help, especially, why not take it? And you get the critique from
Hmm.
somebody that's actually doing it. But as far as the name goes, you get it all the time. Are those magic cookies? Like, do they have cannabis in them? And I always tell people
Tetrahydrocannabinol.
exactly. I'm like, no, they're not THC cookies, but these are something that they're rated E for everyone because I like to think of using everything that I've done so far with the music hall. I work side by side with a nonprofit, which is called WADA. And their whole entire identity is we want to go out to different countries and provide them with clean drinking water.
Wow.
So pulling that and then pulling music and then also pulling in my other friends of mine that do different avenues creatively, whether that be acting or producing, film, all these things boil down to we can all find unity within a nice dessert. Because for me, cookies reminds me of the time I spent with my mom as a kid. Our thing was we loved watching movies. Denzel Washington, that's our guy. Training Day is still one of my top of the line movies to this day. And we would always bake cookies before we'd watch a movie. So this is a way for me to also pay homage to my mother for giving me all those lessons that I needed.
Shout out to her, and of course, love and respect
Shout
to
out to
her.
my mama. Absolutely. Um, but yeah, I use this brand as a way to kind of pay homage to her and remember those good times that we had. You know what I mean? As a adolescent, throughout my adolescence, I guess you could say.
Mm.
But yeah, the main question is, so do you make THC cookies? When are you gonna make THC cookies? And it's, like I
See,
try to keep it, yeah, and I try to keep it like a brand that everyone can enjoy, you know? Like I want you to be able to sit down with your grandma and enjoy one of these cookies, you know? And if grandma likes THC cookies, then, maybe we could talk about that in the future. I think that's
yeah, definitely. I know many grandmas that love THC cookies. You know.
exactly. I know a lot of grandmas. I know a lot of friends that do enjoy, THC cookies, and they're always asking me, "You think you can make me a batch of those cookies and dreams you got, or the cinnamon sugar smackdowns?" Because after I had one of them, I had to continuously keep smacking them down. It's coming to the point to where it's like, okay, like I see the demand for people that want it. So, as I grow with the brand, or yeah, as I grow, the brand grows. So it's something that I definitely could foresee later on in the future as well.
Yeah, because I think there are states in America that have cannabis legalized.
Absolutely. I actually live in one right now. I live in Oxnard,
Whoa,
California, but I work in Ventura. And
whoa.
funny enough, I actually work at a dispensary. That is my 9 to 5. So when people,
So, are we gonna see it anytime soon? California.
yeah, knows how to
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
party. Mm,
Keep it
I
rocking.
was, we keep it rocking. I would say I don't count anything out in the future because, like I said,
Impossible is nothing.
exactly, I feel like there's always room for opportunity and growth. And if I see that it's something that positively affects the brand, then I think that's something that we could possibly do. But for right now, to keep everything very straightforward because it's bigger than like a THC cookie. Like I see this going as far as gluten free, vegan. They may move into protein cookies. Like I see this as one big, huge spectrum to where a multitude of people all around the globe could enjoy a cookie and feel like we're all connected. Like that is one of my goals for myself.
Mm.
I have very big dreams. My girlfriend constantly says, "You're a big dreamer." And
Mm.
my response is, if you dream small, you'll achieve small. But if you dream big,
Definitely,
the sky's the limit.
definitely, definitely. I am a sucker for dreaming big. Dream big or don't even dream at all. It's either you dream
Exactly.
big or you stay awake, bro.
And it's like, I don't know about you, but I have things that I want to accomplish, and you can't accomplish those things by having small dreams. Now, having goals, I feel like help you accomplish those dreams. So
Mm,
I would say
mm.
like if you're gonna, I wouldn't call that dreaming small, but if you wanted to put like a name on it, goals to reach your bigger dreams.
Definitely. Let me make you laugh a little bit. You just reminded me of a friend of mine. This person said, I dreamt about you and I saw you in a small red car. And I'm like, are you mad? Go back and dream again. I don't drive small cars. You have to go back to that dream. It was not me you saw.
I don't think that was me you were dreaming about there.
It was not me. You're like, what? No way. Small? No. Red? I don't even drive red cars. I either drive a black or gray or
Ooh, okay.
white. Those are my colors. Like, it wasn't me you saw in that dream.
Yeah, sorry.
You have to apologize. It's not like,
You'd be like,
but
I'm
really,
sorry.
yeah, that's the thing, man. We don't dream small here. We only dream big or nothing. But
Exactly.
yeah, think global but operate local.
Say that one more time, because you drop gems.
Clock that.
Eggs.
Think global but operate local.
See, now what that means to me is it sounds like dream big, because that is one of my goals is to franchise out, but take care of your communities of
Mhm,
which you're in. You know what I mean? And make
mhm.
that difference any way you can.
Yeah,
So I know for me, like one thing that I'm gonna be doing is when I do events, I donate some of my funds to that nonprofit that we were talking about just a second ago. Because we like to plan up things to do together. So you're gonna be seeing some of those in the future. So it's gonna be a beautiful thing to see the world make a difference globally, but also make a difference within my community.
definitely. That's a really noble thing to do. And yeah, big ups to you on that one. I have this line for you now. From oven to obsession woven.
Mm,
Yeah, that's what the
I
cookies
like
are.
that.
From
Yeah.
oven to obsession woven. So, but what was the moment you realized that Comatose Treats were starting to gain real traction?
We could take it as small as with me being at UFC gym and people continuously asking me for some of those cookies, or we could take it to the point to where now I have contacts within like music industry that want to work with me on making a signature flavor or being able to meet one of my artists that I grew up listening to with my uncle. He would pick me up from school, elementary school, sometimes middle school, but when he did, there was one artist that played, and that's Afro Man. And I just got the opportunity to be with Afro Man backstage just on Sunday.
Oh,
And it was one of those experiences to where it made me feel like this is my childhood. And it made me feel like anything is possible.
anything is
Anything.
possible.
Anything.
Remember, I said impossible is nothing. Impossible is nothing. And you just reminded me of when I had Brett King on my podcast, right? Brett King is a global top 10 futurist, and his podcast is ranked number one in the world in the
Wow.
fintech space. Yeah. Number one podcast in the world in fintech. And then it made me realize, okay, you worked so hard. Now you are now whining and dining with the guys that are ranked not top 10 or global number one at something. It means you've actually put in a lot of work into this thing. And I told him something. In MMA, they say work hard until your your idols become your rivals.
Mm.
But in the world of podcasting, I would say work hard until your idols become your guests. And for you, I would say work hard until your idols become your customers.
I was picking up as soon as you were going along. I'm telling you, man, you
So,
are a very insightful individual and you have a lot of knowledge that you can literally give to this world. So
well, thank you
it's
very
a
much.
course, brother.
Thank you. I feel like you're hyping me on my own show, bro.
This is where, like you said, real recognize real. And this
Mm,
is just me being authentic just from listening to you speak because, we've had conversations before. Within those few minutes of us having those conversations, I learned way more about finances than I have had growing up. So it's It's one of those things to where I feel like you're one of those gurus, man. You're one of those
Man,
gurus.
okay, man. I've had to do a lot of dirty work, in the background in my 20s just to gain that knowledge base. Yeah, and I'm grateful. Yeah, I would say I'm grateful that at least I'm able to use it to impact people, pay it forward. Yeah, because a lot of hard
Yeah,
work had to go into it. Sleepless nights, brother. Sleepless nights.
exactly. And I think we were just talking about that, where people see like the overnight success and they don't see those sleepless nights to where, like Kobe Bryant, that's my favorite basketball player of all time. Waking up at 3 a.m. to be in the gym before everybody else gets to practice to make sure that you got an early workout and then you don't leave when everybody else leaves. It's all the overtime work that you put in that you see later on.
Mm,
And for a lot of people, I know that the idea of coming in earlier and staying later than everybody else, it can be like a mind numbing thing. And at sometimes you're not going to want to do it,
hmm.
but it makes a difference when you see it later on. When you see like, oh
Definitely.
man, my product now is like number one hit. See, it's a hit. People are continuously ordering this flavor because of all the hard work that I put in, those sleepless nights of trying to figure out how do I make this recipe stick? Like how do I want this to look? Because presentation is key. So
Definitely. Like
it's
presentation is key. Like,
exactly
in fact, it's the key, it's a padlock as well.
that key to success, man. I feel like
I
that's
tell you.
that Mamba mentality that Kobe was always talking about. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like you want to outwork your competition. You want to study your competition and then outwork your competition. So I feel like that's what life's about, especially in business and being an entrepreneur, because trends are always going to change. You have to be able to
definitely.
keep up with it.
Hmm.
So that's one of
And
the things I'm
yeah,
learning right now.
and like I said, it's really beautiful that you're doing that, in your 20s, because that's the prime. That's human prime, basically. That's when you've got the energy to expand. When you start hitting your 30s, you realize that, oh man, I'm not as strong as I used to be, but the experience you've gotten from the reps in your 20s now helps
Mhm.
you to be able to accelerate in the 30s, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people waste the 20s.
Absolutely. There are two people that I can think off the top of or actually three off the top of my head right now that influenced me to stop wasting time in my 20s. And
Mm,
that would be my god brother. His name's Solomon, but we call him Solo because he's the one and only. Um, there is my childhood brother, best friend. His name's Josh, and he's actually a designer for Loungefly. So if you ever see these characterized backpacks, he had a hand in creating it, which is a beautiful thing overall because we grew up together and he knew what he wanted to do
mm,
at an early age because we were the kids. Most kids would talk about, oh, this video game, this, that, and the third. Me and him were sitting in the back talking about, so we're gonna make our own clothing line. We're gonna call it D&J. You know what I mean?
uh,
Like we were like those different type of kids. But like for example, like this is
wow,
some
this
things
is
that he works
super
on.
cool, bro.
Yeah, like to see like the characterized backpacks and you get to see his heart pour out into it. It's a
Hmm.
beautiful thing. Um, Actually, it's four people. The third person is my girlfriend, actually, because I was okay with settling with a 9 to 5 at first. And she boldly said, no, you're not.
No
She's like, you
way.
can go settle with somebody else, but you're not going to settle with me.
No way.
So she's all like, you light up when you talk about your cookies and like that's your passion. Like that's your
Mm,
baby. She's all like, I want to see you continue that and bring it to life. And if it wasn't for these three people, those three people, and my fourth person being my friend Sam, who goes by Polyboy. He broke an amazing mold by showing me again that anything's possible. His whole entire thing is making music, and he was on Lil Yachty's last album as a producer
Wow.
for a song. Yeah, so seeing somebody that I'm so close, like these people that I'm so close to, do these things. Solo does acting. My best friend Josh does design. My girlfriend's about to be a firefighter, and my friend Sam is over here making charts. It's like it's a dream. Life is literally a dream, and it is what you make of it. So
Definitely.
why waste it when you could put forth this time and effort and energy into it in your 20s? Like, I wish I started earlier. And this is my first official year.
Hindsight.
Yeah. Like, if I would have
Hindsight is
started so
always
much
2020.
earlier, yeah, that's why now I have, my nephews will call me, and my oldest one is 17, and he's always calling me for advice and about bettering himself. And I give him everything that I wish I had learned earlier on that I know now. I'm like, look, man, if you do these certain things, you will set yourself up for success at an early age. And I can promise you that because
Mm.
I'm seeing it happen in my life, I'm seeing it happen in all these other people's lives. I don't even know
And they
what
say
to
experience is the best teacher.
exactly. Experience is the best teacher. And it's like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But I
Yeah.
feel like because I have a total of three nephews and one niece, and I would say the oldest nephew retains a lot of what I'm saying because he holds like my words in gold, is what I would say.
Mm. Like a
Because he'll
sponge.
he'll call me back with feedback. Yeah, he'll call me back with feedback and be like, okay, so this happened. So what do I need to do now? So it's just like helping him grow within like these awkward years of like being a teenager to you're about to graduate. You're going to be grown. Like you're going to need to have a plan for yourself, because I didn't have a plan.
Mm.
It just so happened that I had a gift and I started to make a plan later on in life. So that way, when I do have kids, I don't skip a beat in their lives. I'm able to be present for everything. That's one of my overall goals as well.
Mm. Having a plan is like a strategy, right?
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
So strategy was one of those things we learned in the classes to become chartered accountants. And there was this guy who taught us strategy, and he used to say some businesses don't even have a strategy, and not having a strategy is a strategy on its own. It's called freewheeling optimism.
See, that's free will and optimism work, but they work even better when you got some concrete, you know?
Because think about it, say if you don't plan, it means you plan to fail. So it's still a plan.
Exactly. It's just not gonna be super successful.
The fact that you're not planning to be successful does not mean you don't have a plan.
Exactly. That actually, I feel like that's a
Yeah,
little
they say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
I feel like that's a little like why would you want to do that to yourself? You sh- If you're doing it, you should want to be good at it and get paid for what you do. I kind of relate a lot of things back to sports, and it's
Um,
like I'm a huge football fan, American football.
hmm
Dallas Cowboys is my team, and we haven't been doing so hot. And I feel it could be, a little bit of poor planning. I hope to see that my team gets better, but using this as an example, if I know that the team has a better running back, I should probably have extra help on my defense, as in like create a scheme, which is a plan, a strategy to box that guy in. I want my DNs locked in every second. I want my backers to be able to blitz and just tear down the A gap, tear down the B gap. He's not going anywhere. We're gonna make sure that is the whole entire plan.
hmm
But just like as like an idea, I guess you could say. I
but they don't pay attention. Attention paid them.
think Lil Wayne said that. I tried to pay attention, but attention paid me.
They don't pay attention, man.
Oh, dude, that's why I'm like, okay, we're gonna get it together. I have a lot of faith. We have a really solid depth chart, and it's only gonna get stronger. So I'm really looking forward to see my team get better.
I
It's gonna
feel
be
bad
dope.
for you. I feel bad for you. Remember, you asked me before we started the port, right? That
Mhm.
you like soccer. According to you guys, Americans, anyways, it's football because that is the real football. Your football, I don't understand. You guys hold your football in your hands and you call it
And
football. How's a football when you holding it? It's meant to be kicked, man. But it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. That's a podcast for another.
another
But
episode.
back to my point I'm trying to make is I don't support any football team. And that is the best way to enjoy any sport. Just be a neutral. And trust me, you see how life will get better for you. You not pray for any team to get better or any team to get worse. I wish them all the best. May the best man win. I just watch. And when I see the fans, I just look at them. I'm in England. I see. I'm I'm in London in the West Ham area. If you see when West Ham is playing, bro, these
Mm.
guys are going haywire. These guys are going crazy. They're going bananas. And then I'm just, relaxed, sipping my drink and watching, bro.
Being a
It's
savant. You're
stressful.
being a
It's it's stressful be the fun.
Tell me about it, man.
Man,
I see where you're coming from because being a fan of one specific team, I get a lot of hate. I get a lot
I'm
of hate on
telling
my
you.
Cowboys.
I'm telling
So,
you. Yeah,
yeah,
just enjoy the game and you see. And yeah, it even makes you a better analyst of the sport, because you're neutral,
absolutely.
you're not supporting anybody. So you'll be able to make better predictions, actually.
You become a student of the
Yeah,
game rather than a
yeah.
fan. It makes
That's
sense.
exactly what I am. I'm a student of the game. I'm a student of the game, brother. But I think about your brand, it's so strong, unapologetic, and of course, you are the voice behind that brand and the visual identity. So, like, how has that voice and the visual identity evolved or morphed over time for Comatose?
Hmm. That's a really good question. I would say the voice, I feel like a lot of this is still under construction. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like now that we're starting to get traction, we're really going to start to see how brand identity comes to be a bigger role. Now, don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, it's kind of cool to walk down the street and be like, hey, I've had your cookies. Man, those are fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Like having those like small interactions, like it's a cool thing to see that people notice the logo and they have like an instant connection. Just to give you like a quick little snippet. When I was at the Afro Man concert, I was in the crowd wearing the shirt, of course, and I was just dancing, having fun, doing my thing. And at the end of it, where the lights kind of came on, they saw the shirt, and I'm like, I don't know you personally, but I have had your cookies. And they were just like, can I place an order with you right now? Of course
Whoa.
you can. Of course you can. So it's just like those small instances of like noticing, wow, people are really starting to pay attention. People are really
Mm-hmm.
starting to understand that I don't just view this as a cookie. You know what I mean? That's why I was so excited when I got the opportunity to be on your show because a lot of people think it's just a cookie. And I don't view it as just a cookie. Again, I view it as something that can provide unity. It's something that can provide financial security and freedom. But I also see it as providing a way to help people.
Mm.
You don't have to be the richest person to help somebody. Uh,
Definitely.
you can, some people don't have money. So I know when I was growing up, Josh, which is, I told you, my best friend growing up, his mom would always make us these most incredible lunches. And with every bite, you felt that love put into it, you know?
Mm,
And that's something I strive for with every cookie that I make. I want the person that's eating this cookie to feel the love and the time and the effort that went into every bite. So it's getting to the points where I'm even going to be doing some volunteer work because I see there is a homeless problem growing within the state. And I met a couple people that out of their own time, out of their own pocket, will make either breakfast burritos, sandwiches, it doesn't matter. And they go out and just participate and just, hey, here, like, here's something to get you by. Cause I don't know where your next meal is going to be coming from, but at
mm,
least I know you were able to eat right here and right now.
mm,
And stuff like that for me hits home because this is going back to what Tupac said. There's no reason as to why people should be hitting the lotto, 500 mil, upwards of that number, and we have people starving on the street. Like that doesn't correlate or make a lot of sense to me. Some people have had bad cards played out. Some people have had just misfortunes, and some people will make a choice, you know?
mm,
But that doesn't, to me, you should still reach out and offer help.
mm,
It doesn't, you know what I mean? It's just something that I believe in is help your neighbor because you never know if you're going to need help one day, if you're going to need grace one day,
definitely.
like
Life is up and downs,
it's
peaks and troughs.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And like we said it earlier in the beginning, like I'm a huge believer in just making that human connection. And,
Hmm.
that small conversation could change the trajectory of somebody's day, life, and it continues on from there. But I feel what I can do right now is, bake some cookies, go out in the community and make sure that these people know, like, hey, at least somebody cares enough to help you out. Yeah, that's just what I believe and what I see myself doing. So
Okay.
I mean, I feel like if we're getting the brand identity, I feel like if we had to sum it up in one word or two words, is unity and love. That's what I want to
Mm,
promote most with this brand. Because again, this all started from me trying to pay homage to my mom for those moments that we shared together. So I want people to still be able to share those moments too.
I
So
love that. Love
appreciate you,
that.
man.
And you just reminded me of a surreal experience I had some time ago in Nigeria. There was this guy I went to secondary school with, and I went to uni, was doing my thing, finished uni, and at some point I think went back to my parents' house to go see them, and I saw this guy on the street, and he walked up to me and told me, "Wow, I'm so happy to see you again." And he told me, "Do you know that you're the reason why I never give up on myself? You're the reason why I put in the work and found my way to go to university, and now I'm a graduate. Thank you very much. God bless you."
Wow.
I was like, wow. I can't even remember the conversation I had with this guy. He told me, you spoke with me one day, you motivated me, you just filled me with hope. But trust me, I cannot remember. And that speaks to what you're saying, that just showing love to people, helping people is beyond just, financial resources, is beyond just money. Saying a kind word to people, giving people a smile, trust me, it does
It
help.
makes a huge difference.
It makes a really, really huge difference. Just a little act of kindness, you know, sometimes like goes a long way. And like you said before we started the show, people don't remember what you did for them a lot of times, but they never forget how you made them feel. You never
Absolutely.
forget how you made them feel. Recently, here in London, I saw some guy at the mall, and then the guy ran up to me and is like, "I know you." I'm like, "I don't know you." He's like, "Oh wow, I know you. You went to uni with me. You helped me when I was in uni. Like, you taught me a couple of times." I was like, to be very honest, I do
You can't
remember this
remember.
guy.
Yeah,
I don't remember this guy. That act of kindness, he remembered because I don't know what course he was struggling with, but I used to teach a lot of people, but I don't know. People remember you even after many years, even when you're looking different.
exactly. Because they will always remember that sometimes it's random, sometimes it's planned, but like that act of kindness that was given in that moment, it
Mm,
changes their lives. Like I've had people
mm,
come into my life that have made an impact on me, like my mentor per se. His name's Alex Martinez. He actually owns Ventura Sandwich Co. Just last year, he had his record-breaking year where he broke $1 million. So,
oh,
and I met him
Amelia, Amelia.
exactly playing a kid. But when I met him, I understood that he had a sandwich shop, and I knew cookies and sandwiches went together.
Mm,
It's this thing to where it's like if you teach a man how to fish, he'll eat
mm.
forever. You know what I mean? And what he did
Chinese
was he
proverb.
saw
Give a man a
exactly.
fish, you fed him for a day, but teach a man to fish, you fed him for a lifetime.
I feel in my heart and know that that's what he's doing because he's been a lot of guidance in me getting the brand to where it's legitimate, to where the LLC, you have your permit, your business license, you have everything you need to be legitimate. And then not
Mm,
only that, taking the time out of his day with him having a wife and kids and a business to run, he still
mm.
answers the phone whenever I call. If I have a question of, hey, I'm trying to structure this deal, what do you think I should do? How would you go about this? You know what I mean? Having somebody like that has changed my world because,
That's a
like
real
I
G.
told you, yeah, like I told you, growing up, a lot of my family is military law enforcement. So not all of them have that guidance or that know-how, but
Mm-hmm.
somebody that does and that is willing to give you that time, it changes the trajectory. A big bunch. Even my girlfriend's uncle, he is an accountant for Apple, and he was one of the hardest people on me about getting my business plan. Because just like you
Mm.
said, having no plan is still a plan. It's just a plan to fail. And he
Don't quote me. Don't quote me.
because it's showing like what you say makes a lot of sense. And I had just did an event before him and I had went on this like a family vacation together, and I sold out within 2 hours at my event. I sold 200
Mm,
cookies in 2 hours.
mm,
So that was my first time ever going out there and doing something like that. And when I told him like how everything went, he was just like, "You have something special." He's all like, "You're gonna make it." He's like, "But you're not gonna make it without a business plan." He's like, "You need to get that
I
shit
like
together."
that. I like
Yeah.
that.
So I have to give a lot of credit to those people that took that time to give me that act of kindness to help benefit me.
Mm,
Even here at Ventura College, my professor, Nick Norris, amazing individual, has no time in the world because he runs his own business. I think he has, I want to say it's somewhere between 5 to 7 kids, a wife, and still has to grade our assignments and still make sure that we have everything we need, the tools to be successful.
mm,
I can call him up and he answers the phone and he's willing to give me that time to help me better my brand. I have to give a lot of thanks to those people that just gave me that time and that saw something in me when I was just a young kid trying to make a way for myself. Acts of
mm,
kindness is a huge thing that will always affect the brand.
mm. You know something, us humans, we're animals. It's just that we're higher animals.
You need to say that
When it
one more
comes to
time. Say that one more time.
I
Because
said
you dropped gems.
us humans, right? We're animals. It's just that we're higher animals, but a lot of human beings are not happy with that reality. But the truth is, we all are animals, and man is a social animal, right? But when you think about the law of the jungle, the very, very first law is self-preservation, right? And that is why you see most human beings in this age and time, they are individualistic, right? Individualistic, and
You said it.
that brings us lower, that brings us closer to the lower animals, right? Because when you're individualistic, you just want to self-preserve and you just looking after yourself alone. But when you see those people who rise high to being humane, and I would say being humanistic, they should be appreciated. And I love the fact that you appreciate these ones because they don't take the easy path of, coming low to just focusing on themselves because that's the easy path. You get it. We are all a
Absolutely.
function. Yeah, we're all a function of those that set the path for us, and we always have to pay it forward.
Absolutely. That's
We
why
always have
I
to
view
pay it
myself,
forward.
I would never try to gatekeep any type of information that I can to help somebody get better.
Yeah, some people are
And
hoarders, and I hate
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like, why wouldn't you want to help somebody else make it? Why wouldn't you want to see another person grow? Like, to me, that just doesn't make sense logically. I use that as like a,
It is what it is.
yeah, it is kind of what it is, but that's why I feel like even like you and I, like we are the type of people that want to make the difference,
Hmm.
to want to teach people how to be financially responsible in your case,
Hmm.
how to get, how to make the business, how to grow it, how to continuously just keep bettering yourself, you know? And I'm still learning, but I don't feel like we ever stop learning until we get put into the ground.
I'm
So,
telling you, the day you stop learning is the day you die, bruv. Life is a
exactly.
school. Unfortunately, you never graduate until you die. So,
Exactly.
so you can't even get your certificate, you know. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's reality. And of course, speaking of reality, I'm going to ask, I want to do a reality check on you. What do you think has been your biggest challenge so far? And what has it taught you?
Biggest challenge so far, I would
Because
say,
we always need to learn, right? If you
yeah,
face challenges and you're not learning from them, then you're wasting your time.
exactly. I would say one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is it's okay to not be the smartest person in the room.
Mm,
I would say it's also okay for you to not have all the answers. You can plan, but sometimes planning doesn't always match up because, things are going to happen. Like I've had situations to where the cookies don't come out right. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? Or I may be having an issue with a distribution type of idea, Um, you plan to do it one way and on one day, but it just doesn't work out that way.
mm,
And you have to learn to be patient. I would say that's probably the biggest one is patience. Patience is the biggest thing because
patience
I
is a
feel like
virtue.
it is, and that's one of the hardest. I would probably say that's the hardest lesson I've learned with doing this because I feel we do get wrapped up in that instant gratification thing. You know what
Mm,
I mean? With having everything at the touch of your fingertips, having instant gratification is easy. So we sometimes kind of get wrapped up in that and trying to make that our everyday life when businesses don't run that way. You put in all this time and effort to get a reward later on. It's kind of like
Mhm,
opening like an IRA account. Yeah, you're going to be saving that money so you miss out on like doing the stuff that you want to do. You might want to go to the bar with your friends or go out to eat or, maybe go blow off some steam and go to a really nice concert with some really awesome seats. You you reserve that money later on to get something better in the future.
mhm.
And I would probably say that has been like the biggest lesson. I actually learned that from my girlfriend's parents, her mom and dad. We had a sit down conversation recently where we were not only talking about finances, but life. Because there are steps to everything in life. There are steps to baking a cookie. There are steps to getting your degree. There's steps to getting married. Everything has its own steps, and it's important to not skip those steps so that way you are fully endowed in what it is that you're doing.
I love that. I remember growing up, my father was always talking about delayed gratification, I'm like, at some point, it wasn't making sense any longer because I don't understand. I was like, delayed. And the man can shout for Africa. Delayed. I'm like, okay.
It takes that time because that initial, it's just like, I'm putting in all these hours and all this time for what? I'm not seeing a
Yeah.
return on my investment. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not seeing the ROI. So
Mm-hmm.
when is this going to come?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like we've been talking throughout this whole entire show, when you finally see it working for you, you get this like sense of that satisfaction to where I know for me, my stomach gets those butterfly feelings where it's like, oh my gosh, like this is actually happening, like this is real life. It's kind of cool. It,
Mm-hmm.
especially like when you create like a new flavor, like when you come up with something that's never been seen before, hasn't been done, or it's new to you. It provides that like I did that. Like
Mm.
I'm looking at that, I did that.
Speaking of the new flavors, right? Your
Mhm.
creativity is actually out of this world. I'm
I
curious, like,
appreciate
how do you, you're welcome. I'm really curious, like, how do you come up with the new flavors, and the cookie concepts? And
so
they always stand out. They always stand out. So,
I appreciate
how do
that.
you do that?
Honestly, as a kid, I was on the heavier side of things. I love to eat. So me and my
Mm,
godbrother, so that I was telling you about, we sit there, or even Josh, like we'll sit there and we think about those things that brought us joy as a kid.
mm.
Like like the chocolates that I came up with. It's a chocolate chip cookie with sea salt caramel, and then we add Rice Krispies on top, and then we do dark chocolate drizzle. That
Whoa.
came from me envisioning a Nestle's Crunch Bar because that was my favorite
Oh,
thing. I would crave those things like no other as a kid. So, and then they came out with the caramel version. So I was like, I want to do something with that. And it also helped because it stuck the Rice Krispies on top. So yeah,
I like
creativity
salted
comes from
caramel. I like
you
salted
do.
caramel. Yeah,
Okay, so now I'm getting.
I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna.
I think I'm getting more ideas to what to put in your box.
Nice, 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 nice. I'm getting a lot, man. I definitely know that my box is gonna be loaded.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be on the heavier side of things, delicious
All right.
wise.
Okay,
Uh,
I appreciate it. You know, let's talk about building communities, right? How have
mhm.
you built such an engaged and loyal customer base?
um, can you repeat that one more time for me? Sorry, the kind of connection was a little.
Okay, I was talking about building communities and how
Mhm.
have you built such an engaged and loyal customer base?
Man, I would have to chalk that up to just being authentic. being authentic, being genuine, and being real. You know, there's one thing that I learned throughout my years of experience within sales is I saw people do it in a robotic way
Mm-hmm.
where it felt just cold and it was just number, 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 you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I hated that model. I hated it because I looked at it as let me put myself in your shoes. How would how would I want the information be given to me? And I think it's a lot easier when you make a human connection with somebody
Mm-hmm.
because then they feel comfortable and more inclined to trust you. And that's how things have been working for me is just being authentic.
Love that. And you know something with growth, right? A lot of people, when they grow, they tend to lose their sense of self. They tend to evolve into somebody that they are not, right? And also with businesses, when they scale up, they tend to focus more on quantity than quality, right? But for you, what strategies are you adopting, to scale up your business without compromising on the quality?
Oh man. Um, the strategies that I personally have been using, again, I would say that has to go back to like what I'm putting in the cookies. You know, love is a huge factor, but your ingredients. Your
Mm-hmm.
ingredients is what is going to make or break your cookie. Because I've had people come up to me and be like, I make cookies, but they don't taste as good as yours. Well, what kind of ingredients are you using? Are you buying like dollar store chocolate? Like, what are
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, what are you using? Because again, that, like I said, that's going to make a huge difference in the production of the cookie. Another thing that I personally like to use myself is going to be more of just engagement, overall engagement. When you talk to somebody, I make the time to, I definitely make the time. People that I hang out with, like we'll go to the store and people will recognize me and be like, "Hey, DeVonte, how have you been?" Da, 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 da. I don't shortchange them, you know. I give them that time because I feel like there are no mistakes. There, everything's kind of planned out and written, you know. And if you align within my day, I'm gonna give you that time of day to make sure I can hear you and hear what it is that catch up with you. How have things been with you?
Mm,
How's life moving? So I would say just the overall quality of the products of what you're putting in and then just being authentic and giving time. I keep it very simple. I keep it very, very simple, man. As long as you use good ingredients and you show love, you get love in return.
definitely, definitely. But let's talk about the mentality of the underdog, right? As Black entrepreneurs, we need to work twice as hard, to prove ourselves, and as a Black founder in a highly competitive space, how do you stay focused and motivated?
I would say it's my dream of
Mm,
seeing what I want done and what I want accomplished. I don't believe in business when people say no. I look at it as, okay, I'll check back in with you. I'm gonna come back. This isn't the last time you're gonna see me or hear from me. I'm like a gnat. I can be very
you're like a
ambitious.
phoenix.
Exactly. I'm very freaking ambitious and I'm popping back up on you like peekaboo. You know, like I've been told no multiple times and that's fine. I have no
Never,
problems with being told
never
no,
take no for an answer.
but it's not an answer. Like I said, I'm coming back. You will hear from me again. And even if it's as simple as like I had an offer that I had submitted for a local business to sell my cookies within their shop. It was an arcade place. And, on the initial sent in breakdown of like the cost of everything, and I explained to them how it could boost their margins. I was denied. Fine. I have no, there's no ill intent,
No
no harm
animosity.
done. Yeah, no animosity whatsoever. I will see you again, and I'll probably end up bringing you a couple cookies anyway, just to say thank you for taking the time to even consider me. Because you never know, things change. So it's just about
Definitely.
being faithful. Yeah, being
Mm,
faithful and just not giving up on yourself. We need,
definitely. Definitely. I love that. Never give up on yourself. For everybody listening or watching this, never ever give up on yourself and never let anybody tell you who you are.
exactly. Because
Wow.
deep down, you know who you are. You're a king or you're a queen. And now it's just about putting forth what you want to see into life.
So, do you have any exciting projects for 2025 we should look forward to?
Oh, now we're getting to the fun stuff. So, for people that do not know, I do sponsor Raiden. He is a power slapper within Power Slap, obviously, that Dana White created. Um,
Shout out
we
to Raiden, bro.
been shout out to Raiden. It's
Because
always
Raiden has been,
love, brother.
he's been on the podcast, Raiden.
So hearing that name, it gave me some ideas from my childhood from a really popular game called Mortal Kombat. So you can expect to see some things like that. You can expect to see some commercials that we're going to be shooting. We start
Mm,
shooting our first one in 2 weeks.
wow,
So you're going to
interesting.
be seeing a lot of, yeah. And if you guys want to follow along on the journey, it's at Comatose_Treats on Instagram. So that way you guys can
Definitely.
see the
I'll
things
put
that
that
we're
in the
going to be posting.
description.
I appreciate you. But yeah, you could definitely
Definitely.
see new merch, new cookie flavors. I'll give you guys a little preempt. I'm coming out with a new one called a pistache hash. So it's going to be a chocolate cookie. Then we're going to have nice little pistachio cream in the middle. And have you had that Dubai chocolate or yeah, the Dubai chocolate with a nice little crunch sensation in the middle?
Hmm.
So that's going to be in the middle. And then we're going to
Bro,
layer on some nice greenery looking white chocolate with a little bit of
bro.
pistachio crumble on top. So you can expect to see that coming out this year. There's a lot of good things in store for this brand that I see that are just beautiful. Collabs with different artists. Dude, sky's the limit for this. I'm a huge believer
Don't
in
kill us. Don't
collaboration.
kill us.
Like I said in the beginning, Comatose, do we overdose on this good flavor?
I'm telling
So,
you. I'm telling
yeah.
you. The name speaks for itself. The name just speaks for itself. Whoa. Man, before
Yeah.
I get you into the quick fire round, I
Mhm.
want you to give a quick word of advice, to young entrepreneurs out there starting out. You're like a big brother to them now. So what's your advice to entrepreneurs out there starting out?
I would say if you have a dream, dream big and just keep your foot on the gas. You're going to have those moments where adversity is going to come towards you, but you just have to hold on tight and just keep pushing
Mm,
through and believe in yourself. Uh, One thing that I learned is nobody will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself.
definitely. Who's gonna believe in you for you? Come on. It's not
Exactly, you
their
know?
job. It's not their job to do.
Exactly. So I feel like as long as you have that mindset of I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep pushing. Tyler the Creator was one of those huge ones for me that made me feel, for being different and having these ideas. Pursue them, make them
Mm,
your reality.
mm.
So I would say that's where that's where it is. That's my word of advice is dream big and just keep pushing through.
And of course, are you ready to rumble? Because I've got the quick fire round session before you leave. Are you ready?
I say let's get into it.
Are you ready to rumble?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay,
I'm
let's
already
go.
in the
Let's
corner,
go.
ready to
Let's
go.
go. Fighting out of the red corner. The champion of the cookie world, DeVonte
Ah,
Comatose Treats Stepter. Okay, you've got 10 questions, and of course, you need to give quick answers. So, number one, what's your best cookie flavor ever created?
Cookies and dreams. Because after one bite, you're gonna be dreaming about them all day.
Whoa, I want that one in my box, bro.
I got you.
Number two, one person you'd love to share a cookie with, dead or alive.
Tyler the Creator, for sure.
Whoa, interesting. Number three, coffee or milk with cookies.
Ooh, man, it's hard. I'm gonna say milk. It's tradition. It's classic.
I thought you were gonna say coffee and milk.
I was gonna, you know what? Both go together. You know,
Oliver Twist. So number four, what's your personal motto?
you show love, you get love.
I love that. Number five, what's the most underrated ingredient in bacon?
Mm. Cream cheese, for sure, is probably one I'd have to say.
Mm,
Adds a nice little richness to the actual cookies.
mm. So, what's your favorite business podcast or book?
So my favorite business podcast is I'm gonna have to say the King Dems Podcast.
Oh,
This
whoa,
was this
whoa,
was this has been very, very insightful and
whoa!
I've
Thank you,
learned a lot.
brother. Thank you,
It's
brother.
love. It is love, brother.
Man, well, how about a book?
Book. So something that I'm gonna be picking up to read next is Rich Dad Poor Dad. So
Robert Kiyosaki,
mhm,
bro. I think my father gave me one of his books. Yeah, when I was growing up. Like, that guy's solid. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. That guy is solid.
I can't wait to read
So,
that.
hmm, late nights or early mornings?
Early mornings. You get more done in the day. You get more done in the day.
Yeah, it depends. It depends, though. Yeah, I think for me, I think I'm a late night owl. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it depends, like on your time management, basically. Some people are not morning persons. But my father, man, I don't know. Growing up, he tried to make us morning people, but bruv, in the morning,
And sometimes it's hard for people, man.
it's like my brain is still frozen. I'm sorry.
Man, for me, I'm a huge morning person. I wake up with energy, so I'm one of those type of people.
No, I don't wake up with energy. He used to shout, "Oh, the morning sets the tone for the day. The morning, blah 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 blah." And then he was speaking Yoruba. They say "Òwúrọ̀ lọ́jọ́," like the morning is the day. I'm like, bruv.
Man, I want to talk to your dad. You got to get him on the podcast next. You got to get him to talk about it.
He's always talking about the morning. What happened to the nights, bro? What happened to the nights?
That would be a really good contrast right there between you and your dad. He gives his perspective and
Yeah,
you give your perspective.
of course, he's a morning person, but me, I'm a night owl. But the truth
Hmm.
is, it's just time management, right? He
That's true.
he gets his own stuff done early in the morning, and yeah, he conquers the day. But for me, you know what I am? I'm the night owl. So what I do is I do a lot of my stuff in the night. I remember when I was in uni, I used to read, in the night. I read in the night, and then I'm sleeping in the morning. And then the guys are always like, "Oh wow, this guy does not even read." And I remember when the first semester results were out, and then I was having A's, and the
You're
guys are
like,
like,
got him.
"Who the hell is this guy?"
You're like, I can tell you better than I can tell you, brother.
I'm like, this guy's the devil himself. Even the Bible says the devil comes like a thief in the night,
And, I,
steal, to kill, and to destroy.
and that's exactly what you did. You destroyed the competition.
Bro, I like to do my movements in the night. Even like when
Hmm.
I was in uni, I'll go take my shower at like 4 a.m. And I just go back to sleep. And everybody's rushing at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Bro, don't worry. I
I'm
just
already
wake up
ready
and
to
just
go.
I just do my thing.
Oh man, yeah,
So
that guilt discipline.
yeah, because bro, there's something about working in the night. For me, like I get more inspiration in the night, and like you're just ahead of the competition. So when you don't love your work in the night, you just look at people when they're waking up, they think, oh, the day is just starting, bruv. I've already strategized the day ahead.
Exactly. He's like, I've already got everything planned up, ready to go.
I'm telling you, different strokes for different folks, but everybody has what works with them. Okay. One lesson you wish you learned earlier.
Financial literacy.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
important. Very,
very, very
very
important.
important. I'm telling you,
That,
very
that goes back
important.
to the discipline. That is something that is just going to set you up for your life.
Hmm.
You can't buy a house on hopes. I mean, you could buy a house on hopes and dreams if you strategize and plan
Hmm.
and
Hmm. Hmm.
financially plan as well. But that's one of the biggest lessons I wish I learned earlier.
Yeah, a lot of people need it. Everyone needs it, actually. But sometimes I'm sort of like grateful that I had it by way of formal education and consulting for large corporations, across the world. So for me, it feels like it was just dropped, into my
Like right
laps
there in your hand. Yeah, I was gonna say right there.
on a plateau of gold. I have met with professionals in like other fields. Like I have a friend that's a doctor, and until he met me, he was like, "Man, I never knew that financial education was a thing. He just makes money, spends it, makes money, spend." Like, bro, you save
Say some of
first,
that.
you invest before you spend. And then I taught him some investment vehicles and how to pattern money. And then it was like, wow, bro, you're like an angel.
Awesome. Yeah. Like, see, that's why we're gonna have to stay in close contact. We're gonna have to talk about some strategies.
But when you think about it, like, okay, this is what, I went to school to study. This is what I do for my clients. I'm just giving you that, advice out of here. This is what I do for a living. But people appreciate it because everybody needs it.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs it, just like everybody needs, health education. You need to learn how to take care of yourself, right?
Exactly. You don't take care of yourself, you're just gonna cause yourself to destruct.
Hmm. Yeah, good one.
Oh,
Whoa. Number nine, biggest pet peeve in the kitchen.
biggest pet peeve in the kitchen is
I
having distractions. It's like I
Bro.
just need to be able to focus. For me, I do have I would say like a touch of ADHD, so like my mind naturally likes to run on a couple
Oh,
different things all at once.
you're
So
not
it's like when
alone.
I
You're not
yeah,
alone. You're not alone. And it's crazy when the ADHD is not combined with a touch of OCD, and then you're in trouble.
yeah.
For me, I don't bake, but I cook. But yeah,
Oh yeah. See, so you get it. You automatically
I
understand.
know, I get it. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah. It's like you need that time to be able to focus because there have been batches where people have been trying to show me something or communicate with me on a different level that requires my actual attention instead of it just being
Mhm,
like a lighthearted conversation.
mhm.
So, I save those conversations for when I'm done now because I've messed up a lot of batches and I was like, these batches are money. I was like, you have to think because this is coming out of pocket. You have to be on top of your game when you're doing what you're doing.
Definitely, definitely, always. And for me, one of the things I do that helps and probably might help you as well is I always keep my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Mm,
Yeah, when you don't see the notifications, it helps you to stay focused.
yeah,
It's a very big deal. It helps a lot, trust me, because easily notifications can always distract you. And when you think about it, most of those notifications are not urgent. Yes, some of them are important. Most of
no,
them, 99% of them are not urgent. So if it's not urgent, it means I don't have to do it now. So
exactly.
why should I get distracted by it? Just a little tip. And finally, entrepreneurship is dash freedom. Yeah,
Great.
you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed
Great.
it. Whoa. And we have come to the end. Wow. It's hard to say goodbye, of course. Definitely, this has been a fantastic session. But before you leave, do you want to leave a shout out to anybody?
I would want to leave a shout out to my girlfriend, Brisa, my godbrother Solo, my boy Sam, my boy Josh, and everybody that has been a part of this upbringing of me, and not only me, but this brand right here.
Comatose
Because
Treats, bro.
Comatose Treats, because one bite of these will bring you to your knees, and it's comatose till we overdose. Because we're gonna make it, and we're gonna bring unity just from one dessert.
Hmm. Wow, I love the spirit. And of course, from me to you, once again, it's a very, very big thank you. Gratitude is good attitude. And of course, if a person shares their time with you, they share their life with you. Thank you for sharing your time, your life with me and the audience. And of course, I wish you the very, very best in all of your future endeavors. And for those of you watching us, listening to us, what are you waiting for? Please go like, subscribe, share, show us love, join the membership. And of course, I'll keep working hard and tirelessly to bring fantastic individuals like DeVonte Stepter to share their journeys with you. And of course, inspiration, share education. Any nation you want, don't worry, it will share it. But of course, please support. Love and respect to you guys. I love you.
Always love. Hope we can keep it in contact, brother. Absolutely.